that like button. Power recap. Episode 5. King's Gambit. Now, King's Gambit is like an aggressive chess playing move. And this episode was aggressive. Tommy Egan would be the aggressor in this episode. And I was like, wow, after watching this shit, I think this is a top 5 all time episode in the whole series. This shit was crazy. And it opens up with Tariq and Effie playing chess at Choke. And of course, like I said, King's Gambit, they're playing chess. And Vincent's texting him, telling him he wants to double the product. And then you got to keep an eye out on the Effie girl because she's texting an anonymous source saying that the competition is out of product. So this girl is really sneaky. And I know they're making it seem like she's going to be the new Tasha, he's the new Ghost, and this goofy white boy is the new Tommy, but that's not. That would be too predictable. They're not going that route. As you watched lately, and if you look at this review and you watch this episode, you know this little bitch ain't up to no good. You know what I'm saying? So Ghost eventually tells the Tate that he's gonna drop out of the race. And of course the DNC lady's like, "Come on, Ghost, they should just fuck already, get it over with." But he drops out of the Tate campaign, and so he deads that because he's like, the heckler really kept bringing up his past, and he's like, I can't change my past. So Ghost is like washing his hands with Tate, and Saxe is still determined to get Ghost for Angie's murder, despite the evidence that there is no evidence that Ghost killed her. The attorney, the feds are telling him there's no evidence. He has no evidence, but in his mind, Ghost killed her, and that's final. And he just won't accept it. So in the meantime, he's still blackballing Dre. And at one point, he has the car because they got custody of his daughter. At one point, the car comes up and they show his daughter crying, and he's like, "I want my daughter back." And they're trying to make you feel sympathy for Dre. I don't know if it's working, but that's what they're trying to do. The writers trying to make you feel sympathy for Dre, and of course, they got him back working with Ghost again. So that's the deal with Dre. But the U.S. attorney finds out that Saxe failed his mission to get Ghost at Maria Suarez's house from the last episode, where they had the feds come in, but by the time they came, Ghost and Dre had already left. So the U.S. attorney is pissed off because he's like, "Why the fuck didn't you ever tell me this?" And Saxe is just running in circles. So Saxe is in deep water in his own position. It's only a matter of time before he get fired any fucking way. And then they realize Proctor is their last, hope. They're desperate. So they like, okay, let's run up on Proctor. And Proctor is a huge part of this episode, as you've seen it. And you'll see later on why. Like, Proctor is really tied up in all of this. So then you got Tasha, last episode, got the front money to start up the daycare center. But it's really slow. And Tasha's a trap queen. She's an OG trap queen. All she know how to do is make cash fast, and she really ain't feeling it. And then this I don't know what happened to the guy who was supposed to fuck her in the last episode, but he didn't show up. They got another dude who basically tells her he'll help her, provide security for a band a week. And he threatens her and says, if you don't give me this money, we're gonna, your shit gonna be up in flames. So that's kind of like where Tasha's at. It's like trouble always finds Tasha. So back to Proctor, the feds reach up to Proctor's crib, and they question him about his Lindsay's overdose, because in the last episode he let his ex-wife OD, but he called it in. I didn't think he did, but he called it in. And they're asking, he's like, well, junkies die, They're just like, And it's Saxe, this little sneaky motherfucker. He's like, hey, can I take a piss? Proctor lets him go in the bathroom way down the hall. He goes in the daughter, Elisa Marie's room, and takes the bug tracker off her book bag. Remember, you put the bug tracker on the bag, I think, in episode 3. So he gets that out of going to visiting, Proctor's house. And Cousin Benny is back, too. He used to be one of the cops off The Wire, great actor. Cousin Benny, Uncle Benny to Elisa Marie. So, that's what they had in that part. And then Proctor tells Ghost, that Maria Suarez accepted the money, but she's still planning on ratting in court, despite, accepting Ghost's cash. So now Ghost has a dilemma, and he's like, yo, she's still gonna testify against you. You gotta go kill her, And then he tells Tommy the same thing. But the way he tells Tommy And I love the way they did Tommy in this because they make Tommy like so menacing in this episode. Like Tommy was like a fucking serial killer. So Proctor's in the park supposed to meet Tommy. Tommy comes up from behind with the knife to the throat, and this is the way that they shot it. The camera angles, the music. It's like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like they made Tommy look like the sickest nigga in America, like on some Marilyn Manson shit. You know what I mean? And you know Tommy's all down for it, but Tommy's like, why the fuck should you care? And Proctor's like, look, we all connected. We gotta get this bitch up out of here. You know, he's like, I will give you her address, because he knows Tommy will do it before Ghost as far as getting that girl eliminated, because Ghost already had a chance to kill Maria Suarez and he let her walk. So that was the whole purpose of that. And then Lala, like, let me wrong, like Keisha's character serves purpose, but I'm starting to get tired of it. So, you know, her and Tasha are shopping, not together, they just see each other in the store. And she dismisses her again, you know, and she's just like, what happened to Holly? Who was that? And Tasha's trying to give her a heads up without telling her, you know, without telling her Tommy killed her. You're in over your head, you know what I mean? You better watch out. Tommy's crazy. You know, Tommy's a lunatic, but she think, oh, she got Tommy on lock. Tommy's gonna, you know, whatever. But, you know, she don't really know Tommy like Tasha do. And she's so arrogant because I think the Keisha character, she envied what Ghost and Tasha had. She was just the best friend. Now she kind of has that with Tommy, and she won't let no one take that from her. So that's why she's feeling herself. And then, so, I mean, sooner or later, she gonna get exposed because she really ain't down for that life, but it'll happen later on. So Sax finally exposes the wire to Proctor. He rolls up on him in the street, and Proctor's like, you know, that's fucking illegal. I'm gonna sue the shit out of you, yada yada yada. And of course, Sax, you know, this guy loves taking people's kids, because just like he took custody of Dre's daughter, now he's saying he's gonna take custody of Lisa Marie. So this is how he's blackballing him, and he's like, if you don't snitch on who killed Angela, we're gonna take your daughter. You know, so Proctor and his cousin Benny are now discussing all of these solutions. What can we do? And Benny's like, what happened to the laptop with the incriminating evidence from a couple seasons ago? And so that becomes a solution. And Alicia Marie is supposed to be asleep, but she's listening to the whole conversation. And in this conversation, Proctor even brings up how he allowed her mother to die and didn't help out. So the little girl is hearing all of this shit, you know, these secrets that her father's holding from her. So, you know, Proctor tells Sax that Tommy killed her. Straight up. He just gives it up. He just rats. Tommy did it. But Sax's agenda is so clear on Ghost, he won't accept it. And he's like, I can't use that in court. I want James St. Patrick, not anybody else. And he's like, well, I don't know what else to tell you. That's who did it. So he ratted, but it didn't really count because Sax isn't going to use it anyway. He wants Ghost, and that's all. And then speaking of Ghost Jr., Tariq gets expelled from school because this fool was using some kind of old classroom bagging up dope, and you know he's selling dope on campus. But the Effie girl ratted him out. And if you see when he's in that room doing his thing, she's in the background watching. And the dean was like, "We got an anonymous tip that he was in that room doing yada 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 yada." And Tasha's pissed, you know, and she brings him back to the house and. You know, I mean, you know, it's crazy. You know, the boy got expelled. But before they even bring Tariq back to Tribeca to the house, Proctor comes to the crib with a bunch of bags, and he's telling Ghost, "Look, I need to stay here. I'm kind of like I'm about to go on trial. I can't stay at my house. Tommy knows where I live. Tommy won't expect me to be here. Whatever, whatever." So Ghost lets him stay, and then that's when Tasha brings Tariq in, and they have this family discussion, and Tasha kind of gives in. It's like, you know, we got to accept him for who he is. And it's like, she's mad, but then she wants to accept him for who he is. And I'm like, this bitch wants to, she's selling drugs herself, but she's mad because her son's selling drugs. And then Ghost, you know, he tries to G-check Tariq, but Tariq's like, yo, get the fuck off me, yada, yada, yada. And they just let him just roam. And I'm like, wow, I don't know black parents that have this kind of, you know, I ain't know black parents in this day and age got that much leeway with their kids like that. They just let their kids do whatever. But apparently Ghost and Tasha are really nice because Tariq should have been got knocked out. But, you know, Proctor tells his daughter, because his daughter is asking him why we here, why we ain't in Uncle Benny's house. And, you know, he's making up all these bullshit excuses. And she's like, stop keeping secrets from me. and because she already knows what happened to her mom, he doesn't know. And then he tells her, "How about we keep this as a secret?" And he gives her that necklace, a necklace with the memory card chip to the computer, the laptop with the evidence of Ghost and Tommy talking, which can incriminate Tommy and Ghost. And that's his insurance policy. So he gives her that and says, "Let's keep our little secret." And that's how they finished that off. But Tommy and Tasha had a falling out because she's asking Tommy for cash. Because like I say, Tasha really, she can't help it. She needs that fast cash. She's a trap queen. That's all she knows is fast money. And he tells her no because he doesn't want to betray Keisha. And she's like, "Damn, the pussy that good?" And he's like, "I don't want to lie to her." And then Tommy just flips and he kicks her the fuck out of his new GTO. He kicks her out. And then again, it goes to show you that menacing style of Tommy, like this lunatic. And she gets upset. And she's walking back to her shop. And the dude that originally told her she needed to give him a band a week, she has a proposition and she's willing to sell drugs for this guy to keep him, from doing anything crazy. So she gets back to selling dope. That's who she is. So the same woman who's upset at her son for selling drugs in school, she's now selling drugs. So, Tasha can't help it. That's who she is. And she goes right back to being who she is because that's all she knows. And this is life without Ghost. And she was telling Tommy how she misses her old lifestyle. She misses her daughter. And she can't go back to that anytime soon because it's different now. So you go back to Proctor, and he gives Tommy Maria Suarez's address. Tommy sneaks in. Now, the Maria chick is in there with Sax talking. And while they're talking, Tommy's in the closet. And he's telling Maria he's got another witness, Joseph Proctor. And Tommy hears it. So Tommy's like, "Motherfucker." So as soon as Sax leaves, Tommy comes out the closet on some crazy shit. Just straight to the head. just gets rid of her. That's the first kill for Tommy this episode. And it's like I say, just the way that they shot this shit, the way that they did it, they made it look like Tommy was just the craziest man on earth. Serial killer shit. I loved it. And it was suspenseful. It was edge of your seat. So after you do that, one of the Proctor's people tells Tommy where he's at, that he's at Tribeca, he's at the penthouse. Tommy already knows, okay, he's staying at Ghost's house. And that's what sets up the peak of the episode where, Ghost is out having dinner with the DNC lady, so he's not home. Tasha don't live there no more. And Tariq is at the house. So Tommy calls Tariq and he's like, "You need to open up that back door. Leave it open so I could come in and go out, leave." And he's like, "Hold up, you kind of hurt my pops?" He was like, "Nah, I'm not going to hurt him." So Tariq kind of knows what's going on, but not fully. So he goes up to Lisa Marie after he opens the door and all of that, and he, takes her out to get hot chocolate. And that's when Tommy comes in. Now, early in this episode, Cousin Benny had gave Proctor his gun. So that's Proctor's self-defense in this case. So Tommy comes in the house, just guns blazing, big fucking machine gun, blah, just shooting shit crazy. Tore the fucking penthouse up. And Proctor's just running for his life. He's getting his couple of shots in. Tommy's ducking them. It was a good cat and mouse game. He goes in the back room. He puts the mattresses up on the doors, and he's panicking because he doesn't know his daughter's out the house. He thinks his daughter's in the house, and then he finally realizes she's not, and he calls her, and thank God she's with Tariq getting hot chocolate. He tells her how much he loves her, and then she asks if she's gonna see him again, and he says no, and that's when she has this oh shit look on her face, and he starts crying. It's really emotional, and he gave her that necklace, so he knows the insurance is there. And then finally Tommy catches him and he's like, this shit ain't over. And Tommy's like, "Eventually for you it is." And bow, he just gets him. And it's Joe Proctor was a fan favorite. So, rest in peace, Joe Proctor. But he was a fan favorite. And a lot of people was like, "Oh shit," I was surprised they killed him this early in the season. It's episode 5. But they got him up out of there, And Tariq has the decency, he's fucked up for letting Tommy come in there and do that to that little girl's father. But he has the decency to take her out of the situation, and then take her to her Uncle Benny's house, safely. And then Uncle Benny gives him the, So it's kind of like whatever. And then after that, Tariq gets snatched up by the Italians because he done fucked up with them. And Ghost comes home and Ghost is like, what the fuck happened to my house? But the first thing he thinks about is his little bitch ass son. And that would lead to the finale of the episode when Vincent kidnaps Tariq and he gets out to word to Tommy and Ghost that they need to come together and somehow come up with $2 million or they're gonna kill this kid for a ransom. You know, I'm like, what the fuck, $2 million? But that kind of threw me off at the end because I was still stuck on the whole thing with Tommy and Proctor. But that's how the end of this episode sets up for the next episode. I have no idea how they're gonna do that, but this episode was fire. I give it 5 stars. This is one of the best episodes of the whole series. This episode was phenomenal, bro. You know, Power season 6, episode 5, King's Gambit. Yeah, hit that like button. Let me know what y'all think. That shit was crazy, man. I love the way they made Tommy just look like the craziest motherfucker on earth. And like, imagine if you're Keisha, you know, ladies, if you Keisha, and that's who you coming home to every night. That nigga's fucking crazy.